We are live once again for another edition of a Tie of the Week Live. So let's go ahead and make sure we have full systems up and running. We'll hit the refresh page, make sure we have a solid stream. You can do me a favor, hit that share button, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, tell all your friends and neighbors. We are streaming live. Hit the view on the watch page and find that share button. There it is. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Let everybody a few minutes to join us. Looking for that share button. Where'd it go? There it is. So how's everybody doing tonight? We'll do roll call here at top of the hour, 1800 hours at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time Zone. Coming up here, looks like about 2 minutes. Share and publish, share and publish. That's what we do. We hit that share button, get the word out. Trying to build a subscriber membership. Subscribers count, you matter. Current goal, 1,000 subscribers here on the YouTube channel. We've hit that benchmark for Instagram, and Facebook might as well not exist too much as far as following and this and that. So we have hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, which is pretty cool. And in conjunction with that, we decided to do a fly tying contest. And in order to get into that contest, you must tie one of the 26 flies featured in my A to Z playlist. And all the details for that are on my Instagram. Check that out. All Tied Up Fly Tying School. Good times, big fun had by all. All right, one last click, and we will check in with the chat and see how everybody is doing tonight as we come on to the 6 o'clock hour. 1800 hours Central Time. All right, we got Jimmy. We got Jimmy E. We got Jimmy R. And Jen. JJJ. How we doing tonight? Welcome, welcome. Roll call. Let's do it. Let's do it. Who do we got out there? Where you at? Who you from? Who you at? Where you from? Haha. So anyways, I had a good afternoon. I went out and hit the water. Not a single hit, not a bump, not a bite. I might as well have not even been there. But it was a beautiful day. It was almost into the 40s, which is pretty rare for this time. And I got the line wet. Got to do some fishing. Threw about every color clouser minnow you could imagine out there. Some hellgrammite, some woolly buggers, some bait fish. I mean, I could not get them. But, you know, there's not much... There's not much features to go off of. I don't know the waters very well. I don't know where the sandbars are in this little stretch. But we're learning. We'll get there. So, you know, day out on the water, still a beautiful day. So let's go ahead and tie some flies tonight. Now, let's see. Where did I put that? Way over here. Let's go ahead and grab that. So I've heard some things coming up about this killer bug. This killer bug. And there's a specific yarn to go out and buy. This is not it. So everything we'll do today is a slight variation. This is a Lions brand, Fisherman's Wool. What color is it? It's an oatmeal. And this is what we're going to be using tonight. What I did is I cut this down into a couple working strips. Oh, before we get started, let me do my local pitch for my local peeps. Fly tying, open fly tying session coming up starting this upcoming Saturday. This Saturday, February 22nd, March 8th, and March 22nd at the Beaver Island Brewery, downtown St. Cloud, Minnesota. If you're local, hopefully we'll see you there. If you're not, wish you were here. So we'll go ahead and just get this out of the way. And we'll slide the vise into play. We did spend some time and we cleaned up the whole bench, but it went back to, I don't know, normal. Let's go ahead and get this all set up. There we go. Okay, so for this killer caddis, or killer bug, like I said, I got these little strips of yarn, and I was doing some experimenting earlier, and I found that just the full yarn in itself was just a little too thick. So what I do is I thin it out a little bit. I go from a full 4 strands of yarn down to 2 strands. And because I have, I don't know, what's this, 6 inches, measures out at 6 inches, I'll give it just a little bit of a twist, and I'll isolate half and half and strip it. So I have 2 strands and 2 strands. So we'll get a lot of flies, out there. Yeah, I did not catch any today. I just went out and flogged the water. So there's lots of different variations on this killer bug. I'm going to be using a size 12. This is a Moonlit ML051 size 12. It's a scud hook. And what's really interesting about this one is it's tied with wire. And what I have is kind of a heavier gauge copper wire. We'll come in a little bit tighter on that. Zoom in. And pan up. Good job, camera one. Let's stay focused in. Alright. So this is kind of a heavier gauge copper wire. It's a little bit bigger than a brassy size. This was a salvage off of a electronics component. I believe it was some sort of capacitor or conductor or something or another. But this is what I'm working with. This is kind of more what you got for a commercial copper. So anyways, let's go ahead and just start this off. And if possible, have a little thread keeper or load this into a bobbin. We're short of bobbins, but we won't go into that right now. So we're just going to wrap this on the shank of the hook nice and tight. Nice close touching wraps. We're going to build this up a little bit, working our way forward. All right. I'm just going to build a little base of copper wire. And at this point, I'm going to come in with a little bit of crazy glue. Just a little dab of Glue-Ya. And we're going to do just a small touch just on the top. There we go, just a touch. Just a little dab of Glue-Ya. Put our cap back on. Set that all off to the side so we don't spill. And we're going to take a couple more wraps forward. Almost to the eye of the hook. Now I'm going to start wrapping towards the rear. Into that little dab of glue. Keeping my wraps nice and tight. And if you pinch on one specific spot on that wire, it's going to break. That's just like helicoptering. And that's not going to work. It'll just snap off. Alright, so I have my stripped down oatmeal wool yarn. And I'm just going to tie this in towards the rear now. And we'll just continue our wraps. Nice and tight. Off of that original bump of wire. And I think that's going to do us right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and set this off to the side. And I'm going to come in with another little dab of glue, because we're not going to come through and do any counter wraps with any wire in this kind of more or less original adherence to the original pattern. Here we go, just a little dab of glue. Not much, folks, not much glue there. Sparse is narce. You've heard it here, folks. Alright. So in order to not build this up, I'm going to let these fibers kind of twist and lay flat as they lay down, because I have basically two thin strands of this yarn, this wool yarn, and I want them to lay down nice and flat, more or less. Take it all the way up front to the eye of the hook. We got a little pop off, and now we'll take our way and work it towards the rear. Nice tight wraps. Here we go. Alright, we'll come in with our copper. 1, 2, we'll just do 1, 2, 3 tight wraps, and we'll trim this off. Alright, now here's the fun part. We're going to do a hand whip finish with the wire at the bend. So we'll just do 1, 2, 3 turns. And we'll carefully draw that together and down and tight. Alright, and without breaking anything, we'll come in with our little nippers and trim that off. Probably could go just a little bit better, a little bit closer, and at this point we're just going to add a little dab of glue. So what do you guys think out there, huh? We're awfully quiet, nobody's chatting. Has anybody decided if they're going to participate in the A to Z fly tying contest? I know there's a couple out there. Just going to do just a little touch of glue in there. Let that soak in, getting into the wires. Alright, and last but not least, we're going to come in with a little dubbing brush and just kind of give that a little tickle. What do we think out there, huh? How'd we do? I think we did alright. So that's more or less kind of the original with the copper wire. But you're not even on Instagram, Dad, so technically you wouldn't actually work. But I'd love to see what you'd come up with. You can go ahead and pick something. You're not going to win. But anybody can participate. Just not anybody can win. Alright, so let's go ahead and change this up a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of adaptation. And we're going to switch this up a little bit. Kind of more of a, I don't know, a little user-friendly variety, if you will. So what we're going to do this time is we are going to use some red thread. This is a 140 denier Flymasters waxed plus thread. Oh, there's got to be something in this box that you could use in Montana. If I can remember where I said it last. Yeah, I did a lot of moving and sorting. All right, sip of coffee. There we go. All right, 110, or it's a 140 Flymasters wax thread. And we're basically going to kind of stick to the same concept and principles on this fly, but we're just going to add our weight in a different location and in a different fashion. So this is a lead wire 0.035, I do believe. And we're going to tie this in on the top of the shank of the hook, because this, I believe, will help us yield the most amount of hook gap. Run that down the back. Nice soft lead. We'll give that a little twist. And it's 0.35. That's enough weight, I believe, to really, really get this down where it needs to be. All right, we're gonna do the same thing with our thread. We're gonna tie this in up front. And we're gonna work it back. And into the bend. We'll just set that off to the side for now. All right, we got Steve. Welcome. Welcome, Steve. All right. And we're going to still add a little dab of Gluea. Give this wool yarn something to adhere to. So just a little bit of crazy glue here. Just enough to get everything wet, because this yarn is going to absorb. So this is 100% wool yarn. And we'll just palmer this forward, taking touching wraps. And we'll get up front, get on the gear selector, hit reverse, and we'll take this to the rear. There we go. We'll lock this in. Give her a little trim, and we can come in with our whip finish. And if you dance it around just right, you can get any whip finish where you need it to be. So there's 1, 2, 3 turns, and 2, 3. And let's come in and trim off our thread. So there is another variation of the killer bug. Oh, as we bop the camera. So that's tied in with a little lead wire and some red thread. I think that just comes off just a little bit cleaner. I don't know. You be the judge. What do you think? Uh-oh. What are we doing? What are we doing, Pigeon? What do you got to do a video of? Oh, you're doing a video of something. You should do a video of you getting ready for Tie Fest. Which should be a lot of fun. If you're not following Pigeon Fly Tying on Instagram, now is the time to go follow Pigeon Fly Tying. He is doing a 1K giveaway if he can hit 1,000 followers by TieFest. A lot of good things going on. So once again, this is a little variation. Let's see if we can't zoom out. We'll get back to the brand on this. This is it's a Lion brand fisherman's wool. I mean, how's this not a 5 million lifetime supply? 100% pure virgin wool containing natural oils. And I'm sure those natural oils will come into play as this hits the water and bubbles down. So let's go ahead and do another one. Let's say we, I don't know, we'll try a gold rib. We'll try maybe a little French tinsel in this one. We'll tie it kind of backwards to forward. Yeah, hopefully this will drift hook point up. That'd be nice. Keep it off the rocks. And other vessels that like to pinch and steal, and they say if you break your fly off, and you can't prove it wasn't a rock or it wasn't a 20-inch trout. So let's do this. How do we want to do this? Let's go ahead and we'll do the lead. We'll do the weight the same. And then we can come in and we'll do our ribbing. We'll do some French tinsel ribbing, why not? All right. We'll helicopter the lead wire. And we'll get fancy with this one and tie in some medium oval tinsel, some French tinsel. We'll just tie that in on the side. We want to run this full length. And let's see, we've been doing it backwards and forwards. We need to do forwards and backwards. So let's get ourselves a 2-strander. Move our whip finish out of the way. And the hemostats out of the way. We'll even pop that down. I think that'll work. Trim this out of the way. Ooh la la. And we should get a decent head out of that. We'll just wrap this towards the rear. And these are all variations of the killer bug. So, Sawyer's killer bug, I believe. Just some basic wool yarn. Take that all the way to the rear. We'll turn and burn. And we'll hit this forward. Each wrap, I'm just resting my my index finger of my left hand on the side of the shank of the hook. It keeps everything from unraveling and in place where I put it. That's what we got going on there. Excellent. I think I'm going to turn the hook up just a little bit. Here we go. It's always good. So let's see, what do we got here? From the phone to vise. I'm confused. We'll just keep tying. That's what I do. Way better at tying flies than I am at using them. That's my MO. That's my story, and I'm going to stick to it. All right, let's see here. We got a couple of wraps down there. And we'll come forward with some counter wraps with this French oval tinsel. There we go. I don't know. I don't think the oval tinsel does it anything. I don't think so. I just like the original, if you ask me. We'll do a little red head, a little ginger head up front instead of the rear. Are you trying to... What's the distance between my phone and my vise? Do I have a ruler handy? Let's check this out. Ah, we have a little tape measure. All right. So Jimmy likes the rib. All right, here we go. This is from the lens to the fly is about 20 centimeters or 8 inches. Yeah, about 8 inches. Some flat pearl tinsel. You say something like this, flat pearl tinsel. All right, Richard, what do you propose? Doing a ribbing wrap? A pearl tinsel ribbing? Let's go ahead and give that a try. I like it. Try ribbing with it. We'll definitely try ribbing with that. Now, I do have an alternate, and I think we might have to go with that for our pearl ribbing. I have this stuff, which is about a third as big. What do you think? We should do goes big or small? I think the big might be too big. Small might be too small. We need a Goldilocks. Eek. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. Small would be better. Yeah, I think so. We'll get the small ready. We'll put the small on. Put a small on it. Size small. Alright, a little bit of lead. This is a little heavier gauge lead, 0.035 gauge wire. And we're going to just call this a lead back. Here we go. All right, and we want to do our pearl, so we're going to load that into our little fancy fun mini bobbin. Here we go. This little bobbin is so handy because you can just load up these little small sewing machine, little mini bobbins, little 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch bobbins, 1/2 inch spools. Still got to thread it though. Here we go. All right, and with this we can even just cast it on like it's thread and set that off to the side. Just like that. And just take that all the way to the bend, or to the end of the fly. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna wrap once and do the body in one turn. I'm not gonna go back and forth. I really don't want to build it up too much. We shall see. It shall still be a killer bug. This one's going to be a little bit thinner, a little daintier. That's all right. We don't judge. We let the fish do that. There we go. Lock it down. And just like that, bada boom, bada bing. Angle this hook up. I always start with that hook down just a little bit further than what I would like. Oh, that's a scary looking fly. Yeah, my dad's part of some of the Facebook groups he posted it on, so I'm sure he's seen it, if not has the ability to check it out. Alright, so normally I would do a counter wrap, but you know what, let's go ahead and we'll still do a counter wrap. We'll do a couple of turns back here just to get the pump primed. Alright. Here we go. This is going to take a second because it keeps wanting to slide down. Because we're going at such a crazy angle there. There we go. Now we got some ribbing going on. Put a finger on it and make a wish. I wish that wouldn't spin. Here we go. Now that just added just a little bit of flash in there, a little bit of sparkle. I like that. I like it. I'll give that a nice close trim. And we'll build our little head. 1, 2, 3, whip finish. 1, 2, 3. This one deserves just a little dab of head cement. Yay! And a zap-a-dap-a-doo. And let's come at this with our little brush. Try not to hook onto that ribbing, but I'm sure we can rough this up just a little bit. Here we go. Get a little life behind that. I like it. The best thing about this this fly is it's super easy to tie. I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 of them sitting here from just kind of messing around. So we'll do another one. I like these. These are fun. Add a little dark brown and make it look like a grub. Like one little spot. Let's see if we can... I think I have a black... Here we go. I don't know. Like that? All the way around. There we go. It's something. It's not nothing. Ah, it's the vein if it was a crustacean. Got to clean the vein, aka clear out the... All right, let's see here. Let's do another one. Get another hook out. I like these size 12s. I think this is just the right size for these. What size did you tie yours in, Paul? I bet you probably went smaller. Let's see if we can't switch this up. We'll switch it up. We'll see if we can't go just a little. We'll bump it down a size. We'll squeeze out our hooks. We'll go from 12s. Do you want to do 14s or... I don't know, let's try 16. Alright. Transitioning. We're going a little bit smaller. Moonlit ML051 size 16. Alright, I'll just get a couple of these out. Well, that is not... think we have a little mix-up of hooks here. And that's no bueno, because we have some straight shanked hooks mixed in with some other shanked hooks. So we'll get to the program here. Hashtag mixed hooks. Yep, exactly. Oh, burn. Boo. Alright, we're going to do this one a little bit closer to the traditional style. We're going to bump down our lead size just a little bit smaller, 0.020 now. But I'm going to keep it on top. I think that's just going to add just enough density to keep it real. And we need to get ourselves some more yarn. And you know what, since this is just a going smaller on hooks, we're going to go smaller on our material. Let's strip that down just a little bit more. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. We'll bring it forward. All the way to the eye. Transition gears, put it in reverse. Yeah, boy. All right. Whip finish. I like it. We're getting smaller. I need to figure out a spot for these random hooks now. Oh, bother. I think that little compartment will work for now. And I don't know, I like coming at it with a little bit of brush. Oh yeah, we can easily tie a bunch of these up in no time flat. We're gonna take a trip down. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And up top, this makes 10. So yeah, and how do you not have a lifetime supply of yarn? And like I said, this is not the original flavor of wool yarn used in the Killer Caddis recipe. Just looks like we had just those couple of miscellaneous random hooks in there. So word is Coleman is still in Arizona through the end of the month, which is good. We're excited to get him back. Let's see here. Let's see if we can't switch threads. Do we want to switch to a different fun color? Would that be possible? Maybe something in the bright green. Let's check it out. I don't know. We'll stick with the red. I really like the way the red looks. Really gives us something to pop. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely you should do these at Tie Fest. I mean, they're simple and easy. Doesn't take much material. That is faux show. All right, let's do our little bit of weight. This is our 020 again. Actually, what we could do is we can do it on the side. Bring our thread forward. And we'll do it on the other side. We need to give our bobbin a little spin. There we go. So there we go. We got a whole bunch of weight added in there. And it did not... Oh, and that just sliced it all. Oh, no! I forgot that's not a... wasn't a flat surface hemostat. That has some grip to it. And that'll shred your thread, man. That'll shred the thread, man. Alright, let's see. I liked adding a little bit of this pearl into the mix. How do I do this? This is... Oh, I need to have my pearl going the other way. If I tie it in. It's all a matter which way you want to park the carriage. Yeah, let's go ahead and tie this in this way. Right up front. And then we'll do our ribbing towards the rear. I think. Is that what I want to do? Sure, why not? Holy smokes, says we have 11 people watching. Boy, where'd everybody come from? I think this ribbing is just going to be a pain in the butt. We'll just do this, and just kind of a standard way. Sometimes you end up making things too complicated for your own good. And at that point, why bother, right? Alright, let's just bring this yarn forward. We only got one strand here, so we'll just kind of have to wrap the crap. Jimmy, you and your chicken. Last week it was... What was it last week? Last week it was Rice Krispie treats. This week it's a piece of chicken. Fly tying so good it makes you hungry. And look at, as I've been palmering this forward, I've been putting so much tension on it. The whole thing just disintegrated in my hand. Oh well. Roll with it, I guess. Alright, let's go ahead and see about bringing this forward again. Oh, you guys and your food, and this is a Flytine. This is not a Food Network endorsed channel. I still have to eat. Just coffee here. That's where I'm at. I'm at just coffee stage still. That's where I'm at. And my cuppeth is starting to run on E. So I might have to call it quits here. We'll do one more. One more. Homemade peach pie, bedtime. Got a little bit of coffee. We got just a little splash. All right, we're gonna do one last. This is gonna be more or less a little bit closer to the original recipe, where we're gonna just use just wire. And instead of using the copper wire, I'm using a smaller hook, and I'm going to use some small red. Since we were using the red thread, why not? We'll do the same thing with some red wire. Just like we did on that first one, we'll just build a small little wire base. Working our way forward. We're going to pause there. Since I like things nice and clean, we'll just give that a trim. I like that position. We'll just take our wire a couple more wraps forward. We're going to pause and add just a little dab of glue, a little bit of crazy glue. Sometimes I use gel. In this case, I'm using just the crazy glue. It's a little more viscous. It gets into those cracks. There we go. Just a little kiss on the top. All right. Continue our wraps. We're going to shift gears, start wrapping towards the rear. We go about halfway, where we'll tie in our material, and we're going to go one strand. That might be not wise, but we'll figure it out. Alright, we'll wrap that in. Alright, we're back. On a momentary pause there. But we're back. We're continuing our wire wraps to the bend of the hook. Please hold. Communication issues. Alright, let's see. Alright, looks like we're back. We'll finish this one up and we'll have to call it quits, folks. Alright, we'll bring our wool forward. Oh, we got to trim off our little hat up here first. That was a close one. And we also need to add just a little dab of glue right on top. That's right, folks, until I give you the official Happy Tying and Tight Lines goodbye, we will keep coming back if we do have technical difficulties. All right, let's go ahead and do our final wrap forward. Up to the eye. We'll turn and burn and bring our wraps to the rear. Where we can lock it off with some tight thread wraps or wire wraps. We'll give that a trim. I really like it with this red. All right, let's do a hand whip finish. 1, 2, 3 turns. There we go. I like that with the red wire in there. Here we go. I think that's my favorite one. With the little red wire in there. See, sometimes you have to tie 10 flies until you find the one that you really, really like. So, alright, before it bounces us off again, we'll leave it off at that. Don't forget, everybody, the A to Z fly tying contest that runs through the end of the month. Be sure to check that out. Let's see, today is the 18th. Got one more week and 4 or 5 days to get that submitted on Instagram. Hashtag A to Z Fly Contest. Yeah. And if you're in town, St. Cloud, come on out. Check us out. We are having our first study hall session. We'll just back the camera up. Here we go. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Happy tying. Tight lines. Peace.